Do you feel like you're not able to make positive changes in your life? And when you try, they don't seem to stick? And then you start labeling yourself. I am too distracted. I don't have the discipline. I am lazy. I'm not motivated enough. I'm a procrastinator. I have too much on my plate. Let's investigate, shall we? Let's talk about a time when you were obsessed with a TV show, maybe Money Heist or The Squid Game, and you just wanted to watch that show, and so you made sure you wrapped up all your work on time so that you could go back home and turn on the TV set and start watching that show. Were you lazy? Were you demotivated? Were you procrastinating? No. You could have watched that show after a week, after a month. It is there on Netflix the entire time, right? So, what was the rush? But you did it. Another time when you were in this amazing relationship, and again, you had to go on a date and you made sure that everything was in order. You finished up your things on time and you were there ahead of time, dressed to impress, so that you could meet this person and spend quality time with them. You were not distracted by your phone, text, Instagram feeds, or any videos, social media. You were not procrastinating, you were not lazy, you were motivated. Another time, maybe your favorite band was in town and you pulled all the strings to get tickets to the show, and then you got there ahead of time. You stood there the entire time dancing to the tunes. Were you lazy? Were you not motivated? Did you not have the time and effort? But you did it. You could have watched that performance or a previous performance by the same band on the internet. But no, you did it in person. So you did all these things. But now you may argue that these are fun activities, so anyone would find the motivation to do it. All right. How about the time when you pulled those all nighters before your exams in college or school? You did your best, you had all the motivation, you were not lazy, you were very disciplined because your entire semester was at stake. In all these scenarios, you were not procrastinating. In fact, you were an achiever, a go getter. You went after what it is you wanted because you were motivated. So, all I'm trying to say is here we can see that you have these capabilities within you. So, the earlier labels that you assigned yourself of being a procrastinator, of being a lazy person, are not inherently true because we can see that you have this ability within yourself where you can achieve whatever you want, as we just saw. Now, let's apply it to real life situations. So, let's say you want to achieve a goal, you want to achieve this promotion at work, or you want to get a new job, but you keep procrastinating. You feel it's too much effort. I don't have the time now. Maybe I will get to it later. But let's not stop there. Let's see what the underlying feelings are here. So, when you think about that new job, you may feel that this is going to be a new territory for me. Right now, where I work, it's a familiar environment, and I know how to deal with people around here. With a new workplace, I will have to start all over again. When it comes to this promotion, you may think that once I have that promotion, it will come with a raise, but at the same time, it will also come with added stress and responsibilities because I can see that my boss has to work over the weekend as well, and I'm not ready to sacrifice my personal time for this job. So, in this case, there is this fear that is stopping you from moving in the direction where you want to go. Another example, let's say you want to get into a new relationship, but you keep telling yourself that you don't have the time right now, you can get to it later, or you don't feel ready for it. But deep down, there might be this feeling that you are hesitant to go out because you are still facing this trauma from your past relationship. So you cannot trust other people. So you don't want to put yourself out there. Or there may be this fear whether other people may like you or not. So this fear may be stopping you from actively look out for this new relationship. Another goal, you want to take care of your finances, and on surface you may think you don't have the time, you are busy with other things, but deep down there might be that feeling of distrust that you cannot seek advice from someone else because they might misguide you. So whatever you have right now, whatever you can do with your finances, you are just doing that because you have that fear of reaching out to others. Another goal, you want to acquire a new habit or a new hobby or pursue an activity, but you are not able to find the time, and you think you're lazy, but deep down there might be this feeling of it might be boring. You might have to cram up a lot of stuff for this new language that you want to learn, and it might be no fun. Going to the gym may be like a lot of effort. So that's why you just don't do it. And so when we look at all these goals, on surface it feels like we are procrastinating, we are being lazy, we are not disciplined, and so we are not going after these goals. But when we look deeply, we see that there is that associated fear with each one of this, where when we go after these goals, we'll have to face this fear. And so what we do is we just package it under this label of procrastination or not having enough time or motivation, and we just put it away. But there is a bigger thing which is at play here. Now, how about the situation where people seem stuck in destructive patterns and cannot change? And when we look at people like this, it's easy to see that they should change these situations, but they still stay there. Let's take a few examples: a bad job, or a toxic relationship, or a bad habit. So, if someone is in a toxic work environment and they want to change, but they still stay there, and they feel that they should change the job, they should go work at a different place, but they cannot find the motivation or energy, and they keep putting it off. And on surface it looks like procrastination, but if we look here, we can still see that the person still has something that he or she gets from this situation. So if we look at the feelings of this person, they may feel like, as bad as this job is, I still have the paycheck coming in. If I try for a new job in this economy, it's going to be too hard. Also, I know how to work here. I understand people. I can work around my boss's tantrums. I know how to handle him. New place would be starting all over again. And then I would have to go through this rigorous process of interviewing. And I feel scared and nervous. I don't want to put myself through that process again. So, as bad as the situation is, I'm still okay because I still have the paycheck coming in, and that's what matters at the end of the day. So they settle. Another example where someone is in a toxic relationship and they may feel that they want to leave the relationship, but they still don't take steps towards it because their underlying feelings could be, um, I understand that this relationship is not ideal, but at least I have someone. If I let go of this relationship, then maybe I end up alone for the rest of my life. And I don't want to put myself out there. What if others reject me? I don't even know how the dating game works anymore. People may not like me. I don't know how to be interesting. So they might have all these fears, and right now they stay in this relationship because they still have familiarity with this person. And so this person may feel that they have this relationship, and it's better to be in a relationship which is not so great than being alone. Another example, when someone is trying to kick a bad habit, let's say smoking, drinking, or stopping to eat unhealthy foods, and they cannot find the motivation. So they keep telling themselves they lack discipline, they don't have time, they cannot uh, put in that effort. But underlying feelings could be that this is the way of escapism for them. This is the way they feel comfort when they have that cold beer, or they smoke, or when they eat that fast food. That's the way they feel any sense of happiness or comfort in their life. Or a person may feel that if they give up drinking, then they may lose all their friends. So there might be those feelings of, I don't want to give up this habit because it may seem bad, but it's not that risky. I mean, I'm managing it, I am in control here. If it gets worse, then I will know how to stop it. But right now, it's okay. I don't want to get rid of it. So deep down, they are also not ready to get rid of the habit, and that's why they keep putting it off. So, in all these scenarios where we feel that the person should change because they are in less than ideal circumstances, but they still don't because they are receiving a payoff from the system in all these three cases. There's that paycheck which is coming from the toxic work environment, there's that relationship which is still feeding that need of the person that they are not alone, and from the bad habit, they are still feeling that sense of comfort. People stay in toxic situations because there's this need within them which is still being addressed. And sometimes it has to get really bad before they make that choice. That's why some people need to hit rock bottom before they can change. All of us have this capability to change. Under normal circumstances, we all can make this change for ourselves. And I'm not talking about physical or mental illnesses or phobias or addictions, but within regular circumstances, all of us can choose a different path for us. Why we don't is because we are familiar with our current reality. We know how to navigate this space around us. We understand the paths of this maze. So we stay because when we think of the future, that's an unknown, uncharted territory, and we don't know how to operate in that environment. So what we do is we settle for known instead of venturing into the unknown. Something that is new is unknown. So we have this fear, this pressure, and we don't make changes because A, we have to start all over again. And B, when we look at future, we tend to look at it pessimistically. So the underlying fear is that what if future is worse than what I have now? And that's why we settle in these familiar patterns, even if they are not serving us. So consciously look at your own life. See why you're not going after your goals. What are the fears that are stopping you? Or why are you settling in these less than desirable circumstances? And so we recognize that this situation still serves us in some way. So know that you have the power to make a change. You're not broken. You are not a misfit or undisciplined or a procrastinator or a lazy person. Just understand these patterns within you, consciously see why you are doing what you're doing, and then from that position, make a change in whatever direction you want to go. You have the whole gamut of abilities available to you. Use it in the best way possible. Thanks for watching.